On his way to Hikarizaka High School, Tomoya Okazaki, a rebellious third-year student hoping for a change, comes across a peculiar girl named Nagisa Furukawa chatting to herself on the hill. Throughout the day, he meets several important female characters, like Kyo Fujibayashi and her sister Ryo Fujibayashi, and is impressed by their personalities. Later, during lunch, Tomoya talks with Nagisa and discovers that she's repeating her final year because she was sick a lot and missed classes, and she wants to revive the drama club, which has been disbanded. They witness a new girl at school taking down two guys on motorcycles. After classes, Tomoya visits Nagisa's family bakery and meets her quirky parents, Akio and Sana Ai Furukawa, who invite him for dinner. Nagisa confesses her desire to revive the drama club, so Tomoya lends a hand by helping her create posters featuring the Big Dango family mascot, which they stick around the school. During the school day, Tomoya encounters two other girls, a brilliant but distant girl named Kodomi Ikanose, and a freshman named Fuuko Ibuki, who he finds crafting a star-shaped wooden carving alone in a classroom. When Fuuko accidentally cuts herself with a knife, Tomoya takes it away. Later, Nagisa learns that Tomoya used to play basketball and asks him to join her for a game the next day. However, the next day it rains, so Tomoya and his friend Yaohei Sanohara, a former soccer player, skip school and stay in the dormitory. Worried that Nagisa might be out in the rain waiting for him, Tomoya decides to go out. There, it's revealed that his father, Neiyuki Okazaki, injured Tomoya's shoulder in a fight, leaving him unable to play basketball. As Nagisa expresses her regret, she collapses in the rain. Following the events of the previous night, Tomoya checks on Nagisa to make sure she's alright, and learns that she's been frail since childhood. On their way home from the bakery, Tomoya assists a troubled electrician, and receives his business card. His name turns out to be Yusuke Yoshino, a retired professional musician, as Yaohei later reveals. The next day, Nagisa returns to school, and chats with Tomoya, who returns Fuuko's knife. While out, Tomoya and Yaohei come across a baby boy named Botan, who belongs to Kyo. After classes, Nagisa and Tomoya meet Yaokane Miyazawa, a second-year student who manages the library's reference room. Tomoya helps Nagisa build confidence for the drama club by pretending to be a new member and asking questions. Tomoya meets Fuuko again at school, and she tries to invite him to her older sister's upcoming wedding, but Tomoya isn't interested. To revive the drama club, Tomoya persuades Yaohei to help by tempting him with bread from Nagisa's family bakery. Nagisa seeks the aid of Kyo and her sister Ryo, while Tomoya approaches Tomoyo Sakagami and Kodomi, asking if they'd like to join. Tomoyo aims to become student council president, and Kodomi doesn't give a clear response. Later, Tomoya and Nagisa visit Fuuko about the club, where Nagisa reveals that Fuuko, supposedly unconscious in the hospital due to a car accident, is actually the younger sister of Kuko Ibuki, who was Nagisa's art teacher. Tomoya and Nagisa meet with Kuko. To support Fuuko, who seems disconnected from reality, they bring her to stay at Nagisa's house and put the drama club plans on hold for now. Nagisa's family helps carve more star-shaped wood pieces, and at school, Tomoya and Nagisa distribute them to students and Fuuko's friend Mitsui. Later, Fuuko expresses her desire to attend classes, but has never been able to. Tomoya arranges for Yaohei, Kyo, and Ryo to pretend to be classmates in Fuuko's first high school class, with even Sana Ai joining in as the teacher. After Golden Week, Tomoya and Nagisa invite Kuko to the Founders Festival when they discover her fiancé is Yusuke Yoshino. Meanwhile, Fuuko distributes more carved starfish to students during the festival, and her fan club helps spread news about Kuko's wedding. Nagisa and Tomoya encounter Tomoyo, who's dressed in a bear suit to catch troublemakers. She accidentally pushes Yaohei out a window for bothering a girl. Finally, Kuko arrives at the festival and spots Tomoya and Nagisa, but she can't see or hear her sister, who is standing right beside them. Tomoya and Nagisa persuade Kuko that Fuuko would want her to marry Yusuke, despite Fuuko's situation. They discuss with the school's staff after learning Kuko wants to marry at the school. Later, Kuko tells them that Fuuko's condition has worsened, and she might not wake up from her coma. When Tomoya talks to Yaohei at the dorm, he mentions noticing at school that some students can't see Fuuko, and others are starting to forget her and the gifts she gave them. Fewer and fewer students can see Fuuko now, and even those who were close to her are starting to forget about her. First, Yaohei forgets after visiting her in the hospital, followed by Kyo and Ryo. Tomoyo manages to remember with Tomoya's help, though. Later, Yaohei briefly remembers Fuuko, but then forgets again. Tomoya and Nagisa buy Fuuko a birthday party set to lift her spirits. When they return to the bakery, they find out that Akio has forgotten Fuuko, and while Sana Ai hasn't completely forgotten, she can't see her anymore. Tomoya and Nagisa decide to bring Fuuko back to school for the time being. Tomoya, Nagisa, and Fuuko spend the night at school, having a pre-celebration for Kuko's wedding. As they bond, they become closer. The next morning, both Tomoya and Nagisa forget about Fuuko and can't see her. Later, they feel like they're forgetting something important and finally remember Kuko's wedding, which allows them to see Fuuko again. On the wedding day, initially, only Tomoe, Nagisa, and Fuuko show up, but after the ceremony, everyone who received a starfish comes to the wedding. Kuko and Yusuke walk through the campus as everyone applauds them. Afterward, Fuuko disappears, thanking Tomoe and Nagisa and congratulating her sister. A rumor persists at the school about Fuuko as a cute girl who runs through the halls. Tomoe believes Fuuko will wake up someday. Since no new members have joined the drama club, Tomoe talks to Kotomi again about joining. He shows her around the school and helps her meet new people to make friends. After school, Tomoe brings Kyo, Ryo, and Kotomi to the drama room, and after introductions, he invites them to join the club. Kyo hesitates at first but agrees when her sister expresses interest, and Kotomi decides to join too. During the meeting, Kotomi suddenly leaves when she hears someone playing the violin nearby. However, when she tries to play it herself, she turns out to be not very good at all. Kotomi is still struggling with the violin, and her playing hasn't gotten any better. It's really hard to listen to. Kyo suggests having Kotomi play at her first violin recital after school in 2 days, making Kotomi practice. Until then, the day before the recital, Tomoe visits Kotomi at the school library and enjoys her tasty homemade apple pie. Afterward, he falls asleep and has a weird dream. At the recital, the whole school, including Akio, Sona-ai, and Misai Sagara, the dorm landlady, shows up to listen. Kyo convinces some students to come by using her position as a class representative. Unfortunately, Kotomi doesn't improve, and the recital is still pretty rough to sit through. On the way home, a strange man approaches Kotomi but leaves soon after. Kotomi is scared of him, calling him a bad man. Kotomi gives back the violin to Ri Nishina, and they become friends. Kotomi starts going to her classes regularly, changing her usual routine. Kyo invites Tomoe, Nagisa, Kotomi, and Ryo to hang out together at a local carnival for fun. While they're playing a claw crane game, Fuuko shows up, but nobody seems to remember her. The next day, Nagisa rushes to Kyo, thinking Ryo was in a bus accident, but they find out nobody was hurt. However, when Kotomi sees the accident, she has a breakdown and collapses, screaming out loud. Kotomi leaves early that day, and when Tomoe, Nagisa, Kyo, and Ryo visit her later, there's no answer at her house. After they leave, Tomoe encounters the strange man again and learns he knows Kotomi's parents. Tomoe goes inside Kotomi's house, and finds her in a room with newspaper clippings about her parents' death on the wall. Finally, Tomoe remembers meeting Kotomi when they were kids. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.